Once upon a time, in a small, quiet town, there was a dusty old bookshop tucked away in a cozy corner. The bookshop was owned by an old man named Mr. Jenkins, who had a deep love for stories and the lessons they held. Every day, he would dust the shelves and arrange the books, hoping that someone would come in and find a story that would change their life. One sunny afternoon, a young girl named Lily entered the bookshop. She was new in town and felt a bit lost. The bell above the door jingled, and Mr. Jenkins looked up from his chair, where he was reading a worn-out copy of The Little Prince. "Welcome, my dear," he said, with a warm smile. "I'll bet you're looking for a good story, aren't you?" Lily shyly nodded, and Mr. Jenkins led her to a shelf filled with books of all sizes and colors. He ran his finger along the spines, humming softly to himself as he searched for the perfect one. Finally, he stopped and pulled out a small, leather-bound book. The cover was faded, and the pages were yellowed with age. "This one," he said, handing it to Lily, "is very special. It's been waiting for someone like you to read it." Intrigued, Lily sat down in the cozy reading nook in the corner of the bookshop and opened the book. The story was about a young boy named Max, who lived in a world without color. Every day, Max would sit by the window, dreaming of a world full of vibrant colors and wonderful things to see. As Lily read, she felt a connection to Max. She too felt like she was living in a world without color, a world that was dull and uninteresting. But as she continued to read, she discovered that Max's world wasn't always gray. One day, Max found a magical paintbrush that could bring color to anything it touched. Excited, Max began to paint his world, adding splashes of color wherever he went. Slowly, the world around him began to change. The once gray trees became lush and green, and the sky turned from a dull gray to a brilliant blue. As Max added more color to his world, he noticed something else was happening. The people in his town, who had once walked around with sad, gray faces, began to smile and laugh. The color Max was bringing to their world was also bringing color to their hearts. Lily was entranced by the story. She read on, eager to see what would happen next. As she turned the final page, she felt a tear slide down her cheek. The story had ended with Max looking out his window at a world now full of color and life. He realized that the color he had been searching for was inside him all along. He just needed the courage to bring it out. With a sniffle, Lily closed the book and wiped her tear-stained cheek. She looked up at Mr. Jenkins, who was watching her with a knowing smile. "That story, my dear, is about more than just color," he said gently. "It's about finding the courage to bring color to your own world, to see the beauty in even the smallest things. And, most importantly, it's about realizing that the power to change your world has been inside you all along." Lily nodded, understanding, filling her eyes. She hugged the book tightly to her chest and thanked Mr. Jenkins. As she left the dusty old bookshop, she felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. From that day on, Lily saw the world in a whole new light. She noticed the vibrant colors of the flowers in the park, the warm smile of the lady at the bakery, and the laughter of the children playing in the streets. And every time she felt the world around her starting to fade to gray, she would close her eyes and remember Max and his magical paintbrush. The story she found in the dusty old bookshop that day had changed her life forever. And as she walked home, the sun shining down on her face, she realized that the story's true title was The Color Within. The moral of this story is that we all have the power to bring color and joy to our lives and the lives of those around us. Sometimes, all it takes is a little bit of courage and the willingness to see the beauty in the world around us. Remember, the color you seek may already be within you, waiting to be brought to life.